Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey. And today we're getting into the wide receiver ranks. We're going to do our top 30 today, run through those, see what we feel. I mean, after the top 10 is going to be pretty, consensus, I think, for us. After that, I have no idea what to think. It's a jumble at wide receiver, and I think we thought last year wide receiver was deep. I think it's even deeper this year, potentially deeper. That's the thing. It's potentially deeper, but it also, there's a lot of guys that we don't know for sure what they're going to do. I don't know. What do you think, Jeff? It's just kind of all over the board. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot more unknowns this time around. So I think that there will be a lot more surprises, and there will also be a lot of guys that turn into duds, I have a feeling.
Before we get into that, guys, make sure you check us out on Twitter at the FF Prophet or Instagram, Fantasy Football Prophet. You can email us questions at fantasyfootballprophet@gmail.com, which is where we get a question of the day here, Jeff, from Andy in Seattle. Quick little question here to start us off. This has nothing to do with wide receivers, but
what
hey,
up,
why
Andy?
not? All right, so he's in a 12-team PPR league. You get one quarterback. It's a 4-point per passing touchdown. He has one keeper. So he can keep Deshaun Watson for a 10th round pick or Zach Ertz for a 7th round pick. So his thoughts are, since QB is so deep, he says, I'm tempted to keep Ertz and try and trade Watson. But if Watson is anything like he was last year, I'll be the biggest dummy in my league to not keep him. And then he also says, not to mention, in a 4-point touchdown league, rushing is even more valuable. True. He says, what do you guys think? That's a tough.
That is tough.
10th round Deshaun Watson or 7th round Zach Ertz. Both are good values.
Yes, I would keep Deshaun Watson. I think it's and more upside play, and I think that's a no risk situation when you can keep him that low. Mm-hmm. What's the worst that happen? It doesn't work out, and then you had a late round QB. But his upside is so much, and it's tough to throw away Ertz. And I have a feeling, would you go for Ertz? I have a feeling.
I like Ertz, but I don't think I like him enough to pass up. A 10th round Watson is pretty good.
Yeah.
7th round Ertz is going to be good. I just don't know if he's going to be just amazing. He's going to be very good, though, but I'm one of the ones that likes to weigh down. I like to weigh down tight end and quarterback. It makes it more interesting for me, but I think I'd go Watson. I just think I'd take that. 10th round is not much of a risk for Watson.
No, not at all. And, I mean, even without 4-point touchdowns, and he threw a bunch when he was playing, but he is absolutely correct that a rushing quarterback has much more value when you start going into, that sort of, point system. So guys like Watson, guys like Cam Newton, ones that can get it done with their legs as well, definitely give you that upside, or at least make their status at least pretty solid.
Yep. Yeah. So I'll go Watson, even though I don't think you can go wrong with either.
No, you really can't.
All right. Let's get into the top 30 wide receivers. Let's see what we got here. So we might run through the first ones decently quick because there's not much to say about the top guys. They're just good. So my number one, Antonio Brown. You stick with Antonio too for number one this year?
Yep, number one.
All right. Yeah, what are you going to say? He's great. So
really, the top two, if you want to interchange them, that's totally fine.
Some people are putting DeAndre Hopkins one. I've seen it.
I have no issue with that whatsoever. I think Antonio Brown, he's done it so many times. He's a little safe with Roethlisberger because he's done it so many years in a row. DeAndre Hopkins, who will be both of our number twos, I assume.
Yes, that is true.
He's got Watson. He did it all last year, whether Watson was healthy or hurt. Those guys, too, either, it's fine. So now we get into number 3.
I went with Odell.
Yeah, I did too.
All right. Yeah. See, he's, as long as he's healthy, which he should be, he's great. So I'm going with Odell there. And I like some of the guys after this, but not quite as much. He has potential to be the number one guy easily. So
he might be he might be the only other guy I can actually see taking that number one spot. I know that someone else could jump up, but Beckham's been close before. And let's be honest, it was so apparent that he's such a huge part of that offense here.
Yep.
Without him, they were so bad. So you know that he is going to return to the bulk of the receptions going his way.
Yep. Number 4, I went Julio.
I did too.
Okay.
You know, Julio, I love him as a player. I think he's always a rough one to take this high in fantasy. But if you look below him, just no one can compare to him. He doesn't get into the end zone near as much as I want, you know, my number 1 to. But he has so many, you know, dang yards.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, if the touchdowns ever show up, it's just gonna be ridiculously good. So I think you still go with him, and yeah, though I don't think you go wrong with any of those top 4. The only problem is I still in a snake draft. I'm not gonna probably get any of them because I'm not gonna pick him. Like Julio, I've said before, I don't want him in the first round anymore like people used to do. I like Julio, but not like that. If I get him second round later, sure, but I want running backs.
Yeah,
I want one of those guys.
And that's mostly the reason I won't end up with any of these 4 guys.
Yeah. All right, number 5. Probably going to be similar, I would feel like. Here, Michael Thomas.
Yeah, Michael Thomas as well.
So we got the same top 5.
Yep.
We're getting similar on these ranks. But man, Michael Thomas, what can you say? 92 catches his rookie year, 104 last year. 1,100 yards, then 1,200 yards. He's just good, and he's safe. I think he's very safe at this point.
I do too. And
I don't know if he can jump into that top 4 necessarily.
I don't think it'd be that hard. No. I only say that because he caught 5 touchdowns, and the guy is tremendous ball skills. So I could see where they don't have to because they can obviously lean on the run. But with Ingram missing, you know, the first 4 games now, maybe they pass a little more. I could see that touchdown number jumping up a bit. So he'll flirt with that top 4, you know, tier, if you will.
He's just safe, very safe.
Yes.
All right, so this is now where I think everything changes for us for ranks wise. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea, but this is where I think things are going to get interesting.
Well, yeah, okay. So the way you're premising this, I have a feeling you jumped someone up there.
I went with Devontae Adams, number 6.
Oh, actually, that is not that far off. I do not have him, but I do have him number 7.
Okay,
and this was a weird one, right?
Yep.
Because when you realize Jordy is gone,
mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers is back. Devontae Adams did well, whether or not that Rodgers was there. He was 12th with Rodgers missing a bunch of time. So it was only fair that I thought, hey, he's number 1 now. He's going to have the best QB in the league. And that's why I put him at 7, you at 6.
Yeah, he's been pretty good. And they just gave him a 4-year, $58 million deal. They think he's good too.
Yeah.
And
really, the only thing you could hold against him is the fact that Aaron Rodgers got hurt last year. I mean, injury is really the only thing that can derail him. I don't see how, if both of them stay healthy, he doesn't end up in the top 10. I really don't think he's a top 5 guy. But once again, I think he's very, very safe, and he's going to be on a prolific throwing offense. He's just a safe bet to produce.
Yeah, I mean, the more and more you look at it, I just feel like I originally had him around 9-10, but then the more I look at it, it's like this guy, he's in the Aaron Rodgers offense. How can he's the number 1. How can he not be up here? I think it's just a no-brainer. He's going to be really good. So who's your number 6 then?
Number 6. I have the perennial top 10 guy of AJ Green.
Okay.
So I have a feeling that a few people are probably reacting poorly to this right now. And I'll tell you why he is up this high. Because I do have to factor in, you're not figuring out, AJ Green is going to finish number 6 overall. It's guaranteed. It's not really how, rankings work. So I think was the last thing I read was like 4 out of the last 6 years he's been in the top 10. I believe he was hurt one of the other ones. He is just incredibly reliable. And if he ever got a little bit better of a quarterback, and I do have to say hopefully with that offense looking better and better, with not only Mixon hopefully kind of getting into his own, but also bringing the speedster that was hurt all last year. Help me with his name because I'm blanking.
John Ross.
Thank you, John Ross. I think with him being able to stretch the field, I think AJ Green will be a little more he's always going to see double coverage, but I think they'll give him a little more wiggle room when you're actually going out and playing. So I really like AJ Green. I I don't know if you want to jump to him, but where do you have him?
I put him 8th. So
okay, so not that far off.
And actually, you might be surprised. I'm actually surprised to see this. He's currently, consensus-wise, 6th. He is actually 6th. Oh. I for some reason thought he might be lower, too, because it just seems like there's not any excitement behind AJ Green.
Well, I really thought, hence why I didn't have to give an explanation at all. All right, cool. We will move on.
Works out. So that was your number 6.
Yep, Devontae Adams was 7.
My number 7, Mike Evans.
Oh, okay.
With Evans there, I'm hoping for the bounce back, but I'm a little more hesitant than I've been previously, just because if you really look at it, 2 of his last 3 years now have been not great. He's only had, that's it. He had 1 great one, and 2 of them that have been kind of iffy. So there's a little worry there, and he still drops the ball a bit. He gets plenty of targets, but I think the talent's there. I think he's too good to not have a good year, but I'm a little more hesitant than I've been in the past. I'm not as sold, but still, I'm sold enough to put him 7th. But still, that's 1 spot ahead of consensus right now. He's consensus 8th. So Evans for you, where'd you have him?
Evans number 10.
Okay,
so he made it at the back end of the 10th. And really, I'm exactly with you. I love this guy. Obviously, I had him incredibly high after he had that 1 breakout year. But I relied a lot on the fact I thought Jameis Winston was going to be a little bit better. I thought Evans was going to take another step with or without him. It didn't really come together. Once again, I think he's a tremendous talent. Without a doubt, he could easily be in that top 5 if he really got his stuff together. But last year just showed you, without Jameis Winston, he was number 20th overall in wide receivers, but he really paid the price. Without Jameis Winston, he was nowhere near the wide receiver.
No. Yeah. It's such tough. I love Mike Evans so much. I don't have a great feeling right now. Even though I ranked him 7th. I don't know why I still did it, but he worries me a bit right now. I don't know, something about it. All right. Let's see here. Where are we at? Number 8?
Number 8, I have Keenan Allen.
Okay, I figured he'd have to show up eventually here.
And he is going to be kind of an unsexy top 10 pick. I love this guy. He gets a ton of passes. He ended as number 3 in standard scoring last year in wide receivers. He's just in a great situation. The only reason I downgrade him a little bit is because he carries a higher risk for injury. It's not even like re-injury, right? He just finds a way to injure himself, it feels like. So, compared to like an AJ Green, Devontae Adams, Michael Thomas, those guys just get a little bit of bump above him, but he is right there in the discussion. I absolutely love this guy. Yeah,
I put him 9th. So he's right there for me. It's just, health is the only concern if he could make sure he stays healthy, because if he's healthy, he's going to be a top 10, no doubt. Without a doubt, he'll be up there. That's who they're going to throw the ball to. So I love Keenan Allen, number 9 for me. Then let's see. My number 8 was AJ Green. So we already covered that one.
So we only have my number 9 to go. And my number 9 is Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
And he finished 4th last year. Everyone knows what a freakish athlete this guy is. And I know that he might fall even lower than where I have him, because obviously different quarterback. We don't really know what Mahomes is really going to be yet. But I believe with Tyreek Hill's skill set, even if Mahomes struggles, they're going to find a way to give him the ball. They will hand it off in the backfield if they have to. So I think his value is going to still stay relatively high, even if Mahomes doesn't pan out this year.
I think so. Tyreek doesn't need a lot of volume to be good. That's the thing with him. If that ever picks up, I don't think he's ever going to be that kind of player where he's getting 90 catches. He's more like an 80 catch guy, but he's going to get 1,200 some yards, 1,300 yards out of it. So I put him. I had him 11th. He's actually consensus 10th. So we're right there. I put him 11th. I think he's going to be really good. There's just always something about him I kind of hesitate on, because it is because of the volume. That's where I hesitate on Tyreek Hill a little bit. But I don't think you're going to go wrong if you get him on your team. If you get Tyreek Hill, that probably means you got 2 good running backs, more than likely. You went running back, and then maybe picked up Tyreek if you got lucky there. So he's never going to be the best player in your team, no matter what. But he can be your number 1 receiver, and you could be fine with it. So, but he did not make my top 10, which your top 10 is exactly not exact order, but it is the consensus top 10.
Is it really?
Well, actually, it might be the exact order.
No.
Give me
is
one
it really?
second here. It's not exactly. No, you switched. The only ones. It's close, but it wasn't exactly. The top 5's the same. Top 6 the same. Then they had Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill. So that's where that went. I went off the board a little bit further for my number 10. It's not a guy. He's actually consensus number 16. I jumped him all the way to number 10. His name is Stefon Diggs.
Hold it. So that means you have Diggs over Thielen.
I do.
Oh, no, that's interesting.
I love Stefon Diggs this year.
I see that.
I don't know what it is that I think he is going to have. I think Adam Thielen has had his career year already. Adam Thielen's going to be great. I have him in my ranks. We'll talk about him in just a bit. But I think Diggs is the better player. And I think a healthy Stefon Diggs with Kirk Cousins is going to be great this year. And I'm number 10. I'm going to have him on kind of few of my teams. I really do rank him that high. Because I'm ranking him that high, I'm going to end up picking him up. When healthy, he's good. He's a really good player. And he's shown those signs of, or it's usually early season or something, he just looks great. And then he gets this, like last year, gets this injury and it lingers and he's never quite the same. So, man, I'm going to have Stefon Diggs on like all my teams this year. So I love him. I think he's going to have an amazing year. So I put him even ahead of Tyreek Hill. So, and Thielen. I know. I know it's a little further off than some. But
yeah.
I
have a hard time getting behind that completely.
Well, when we do our players we love episode in like a month or two, he's going to lead off the list already. We already know
I like
that.
Diggs. It's just very difficult for me to put him above Adam Thielen, which I guess if you're going to, this would be the time with the change of QB.
Yeah.
But
that's my reason.
But actually goes right into it. Number 11, actually, I have Adam Thielen.
Okay.
And, I mean, what's not to love about this guy? He's a possession guy that's also very good in the red zone. Even though he only had 4 touchdowns last year, I think that number could easily jump up. And, I mean, the guy was still, he was number 11th last year in standard scoring. So, I don't know. There's a lot to love with that guy. So, I went Thielen, and Diggs obviously comes later.
I went Thielen 12, so he's just...
Oh, okay. Oh, back to back.
So, he's there. Diggs 10, then Tyreek Hill's in between them.
Oh, I
got
Thielen.
So, I put Thielen 12. He's good. He's very good. I just think Diggs is better. Diggs is going to have a better year.
I feel you.
All right, so your number 11 is Thielen, so number 12.
I went with Brandon Cooks. And to be honest, I don't really know where I feel Brandon Cooks actually belongs. I never do. He always does pretty well. Obviously, he's on a new team. He's in LA. I don't know. I kind of just expect him to kind of be what he was last year, maybe a step back. Because even though he ranked very high at number 7, he was just very consistent all year. And I think that's what he is. He's not going to score a ton of touchdowns. He's not going to, catch a ton of balls in one game. I mean, it's not really his style. But he has that, home run ability. He's just a great route runner. He's just a really good all-around wide receiver. So I think the Rams could really use that guy. I think he can be a go-to guy for them. So that's why he kind of winds up here, but he is kind of in that position where I could easily see him falling as we approach this season for me, only because I don't really know what to expect.
Well, we'll wait a little bit for me to talk about him.
Oh man, you'd hate him. All right.
All right. So we're at, let's see, that was your 12. We're at 13. My 13, Doug Baldwin. 13.
Dougie Baldwin gets the unlucky number 13 for both of us.
It's just
where are you going to stick him in that order, right?
Yeah, he's fine. He's decent. He's a good receiver, but you want him as your 2, not your 1.
Yeah.
He's consensus 11th. In consensus, he is ahead of Thielen. We're not putting him there, but yeah, I'm not going to say he's a fine player. I just worry. About that offense sometimes because I feel like they've downgraded this year. They did get Penny in there now, but they lost Jimmy Graham, even lost Paul Richardson. I don't really, it's not like that's a huge loss. But right now it's just Baldwin and Tyler Lockett pretty much. I think teams know where the ball's going. Maybe they do need to sign Dez. There are a little bit of rumors about that possibly. So I think he needs somebody else there, but as of now, he's probably fine. You just don't want him as your number 1. So that's kind of That's all. I'm Doug Baldwin. It's just not an exciting player. He's never been for me. I don't know even what to say about him. So he's 13. So we both have him 13. So how about 14? Who do you got at 14?
14, I have Marvin Jones.
Not bad. You're going to be a little higher, I think, than most.
I have that feeling as well. So, once again, I mean, I was relatively high on him last year. Not obviously where he should have been because he finished, 5th?
Yep.
But, I mean, Marvin Jones is on a team that throws the ball quite a bit. I mean, him and Golden Tate, they're both really good wide receivers. Marvin Jones kind of broke out last year. He did very, very well. And it wasn't like he had some unbelievable season that he can't repeat. And that's what kind of boggles my mind. I know Detroit is kind of an unsexy team, but they still can't run the ball. I know they signed Blount and they drafted a new running back. But until I actually see that line create some holes and actually, get the running game going, you're going to have to keep throwing. And not to mention, they got rid of their tight end and Ebron as well. So I don't know what has changed where he couldn't, be a top 10 guy again.
I don't have him quite as high. But I have him 18th, which still, consensus, he's 24th.
That's just way too low.
Right?
I'm telling you, that is a steal among steals.
He's going to be you're going to be able to get him for a good price. And pretty much everything. He's not an exciting pick, I guess. But he had an amazing start to his first year with Detroit, then tapered off. Then last year was great. I mean, he's been good. He's been very good in Detroit. So, yeah, I mean, that's 24th consensus. I even thought I was going to be slightly high at 18, but I don't think you can go wrong at the value right now. That's what makes this pick even better. Is yes, even though you rank him up there at 14, it means you don't have to draft him like he's 14th ranked. You can wait just slightly. You can get some other stuff. That's a round where, okay, I'll go running back this round again and just wait till the next round to get Marvin Jones because no one else is valuing him. That's the best part about it. You can get really good value there. All right, my number, where am I at? My 14. My 14 is Alshon Jeffrey. Just another solid player. It's pretty much it. He played last year with an injury for most of the year, it looks like. So hopefully he's healthy completely this year and he can start, picking right back up where he left off. He looked pretty good towards the end of the year, especially. I don't really think he has the big top 10 potential anymore. I just think this is where he's going to fall in this 10 to 20 range. So I'm just going to throw him 15.
I agree. I mean, I had him at, he was your 15th or 14th? Okay, 14th. I had him at 16. I completely agreed. He's on a team that throws a lot of touchdowns. They don't rush the ball when they're in the red zone, really. He's an amazing wide receiver. He really is. Even if he's kind of banged up, he's going to do well in this team, in this offense. Another one full year of him and Wentz together cannot hurt anything. So I think he is going to be a very solid pick. But I think you're right. The only bad thing about being in such a good offense is they spread the ball around a ton. They throw a lot to the tight ends. So even though he caught 9 touchdowns last year, I don't think he'll go above that. Mm-hmm. So I think his value was kind of what you saw last year.
Yep. All right. Where are we at? 15?
15.
What do you have for 15?
The return of T.Y. Hilton.
15 for me as well. This is
a little premature.
It's all about Andrew Luck, really. This is all about Andrew Luck. Yes. And
T.Y. Hilton,
that's it.
If Luck was healthy and throwing right now, I would put T.Y. Hilton higher. That's how much I believe in this guy.
He could crack top 10.
He is
with Luck.
Very, very good when he has a good quarterback throwing to him.
That's the big thing with this. We just don't know. It's hard to even. If Andrew Luck's there, he's gonna be really good. If not, I'm gonna drop him. So, and I think Luck's gonna be there. I think we kind of get that feeling, but Luck still hasn't thrown a ball, so it's tough to say for sure. So we'll just wait and see on the T.Y. Hilton thing. All right, so your 16 was Alshon. My 16, Amari Cooper. But I don't love it at all.
Right. I had that same issue where you're fighting the urge to put a few of these guys higher because you know how talented they are, even though last year is hard to erase from my mind.
Yep.
And that's why he does show up at number 20. Spoiler alert. 20 for me. because I had a very difficult time, just making that jump in my head, being like, last year was a fluke. He's going to come back and he is going to outperform. I mean, a lot of talented guys still that are left around. It's a tough one with Amari Cooper. He is going to be kind of you're either going to get a gem because you're going to get him, even if you got him right here, that might be way too late for his talent. Or he might did what he did last year, and then you just overdraft the crap out of the guy. I mean, he's one of those guys that you're not going to know until halfway through the season.
Yeah, that's... I don't know what to think. I'm not excited about it like I was last year. I'll tell you that. That's for sure. And funny thing is, consensus-wise, he's actually 14th.
Wow, really?
Yeah. We're actually...
I mean, and once again, I get it.
Yep.
But I don't think I would have... In that position, I wouldn't draft him 14th.
Right?
You would have to have a pair on you.
Yeah. He's all over the board on these things. He's 9th. He's as high as 9th. He's 24th on some of these ranks.
I don't know how in the world you could justify taking him in the top 10.
Right? That's little.
That's just wrong. I'll call it out what it is.
Should I call the guy out?
Yeah, that's wrong.
Let me see. Who am I calling out here? Let's find out. He's probably going to be right, so we shouldn't. Andy Holloway from the Fantasy Footballers.
I like them. They're good. But no, I can't do it, man. It's too much of a stretch where you could get a very solid guy that won't disappoint like Cooper can.
Yep, and yeah, I can't picture myself drafting Amari Cooper, even though I ranked him and where I did. I can't just. I don't know. I feel like every time. If Amari Cooper is my best wide receiver on the board, I'm going to go running back. Just keep going running back.
Not now.
I don't feel comfortable with it. All right, so we're at 17. Who you got at 17?
I have Juju Smith-Schuster.
Okay, Juju.
And I think maybe I'll be a little higher on him than other people are. But actually, what is the consensus on him?
22.
Okay, so I'm not that far off.
But he's as high as 10th, as low as 31st.
Wow,
so
he is really polarizing.
He's 20th for me.
Okay, that's not that far off. I really, really do like Juju Smith-Schuster. I think he's another one that has the ability to outperform where people are going to even have him ranked, unless they have him at number 10. I mean, last year he missed 3 games. He was still ranked number 15 when all was said and done. He looks really, really good. They got rid of Martavis Bryant. They have a rookie in that 3rd slot. I mean, it's just adding up to what is going to be a very good year for him. I think he'll even be better than he was last year. I don't know how much. Maybe it'll just be, maybe a few points, maybe whatever. He'll go off on a TD tear, but I think he is a very, very good player. And it's kind of the heir apparent when Antonio Brown decides to step down.
Yeah, I think the number 2 there is going to be really valuable. So it's all him now. There's no Martavis lurking around, so he's going to be good. So that's a wide receiver 2 for me. And yeah, I think he's going to be safe, actually, in a weird way.
Yeah, no, for a number 2, I think
I feel safe. I feel good about him as my number 2. I almost feel better about him than Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe I have to switch that around. When I'm thinking about this, I might have to. I might even like him better than my next guy, number 17, Allen Robinson.
Well, Allen Robinson, you can talk about him. He actually made it just after Juju for me for number 18.
Yeah. I think there's some potential there, obviously.
All the talent in the world.
It's an unknown situation. It's a quarterback who hasn't proved himself. It's all those factors.
Preach.
They have a good running game, so they might try to just still rely on that. It's just a hard read. That's the problem. It's a hard situation to read. He has the potential to be a top 10 guy, but he also has the potential to be like a 30th guy. You don't really know. A lot of it depends on Trubisky, and we're just kind of, projecting Trubisky to be good this year, it feels like, because of the weapons now around him and everything, but there's no guarantee he does anything. He was fine last year, I think, for a rookie, but I never got any, like, from Trubisky himself, I never got like these huge flashes like, oh man, this guy's going to be really great. But I didn't get that from Jared Goff the year before, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, that's very true.
He's going to go, Robinson is going to go as Trubisky goes. It's just, we're going to have to wait and see. So it's a little bit of risk here. And that's why Juju seems better in that way. And actually, Marvin Jones, who I had 18th, seems a little bad. I might have to make some adjustments. I don't know.
Yeah, and with Allen Robinson, too, I absolutely love his talent. But in a weird way, it's not like the Bears, because they do run the ball so efficiently. They bang it out. They kind of slow the game down. It's not like they were playing from behind, not compared to, say, the Jaguars back in the day when Allen Robinson went nuts. So is Trubisky really going to throw into double coverage? Because they're going to double Allen Robinson. Who's the other guy they have? Taylor Gabriel? I mean...
Well, it's probably... What the heck? Why can't I think of their rookie's name?
Kevin White?
Oh, they have Kevin White. Who the heck did they just draft? Why? I'm just drawing a blank right now. They just drafted... What's his name? I was talking about him. Anthony Miller. They drafted Anthony Miller, who could step up there a little bit. But it's still not. Could be
the number 2 and then Taylor Gabriel in the slot, but still. So Allen Robinson is going to get all the attention in the world, which might open it for Trey Burton. Wink, wink. Burton, yeah. Watch our tight end episode.
Yeah,
but
check that out.
So I like this guy a lot because of his talent, but he comes in at number 18 because who the heck knows? Yep. I'm not that high on Trubisky right now.
There's just risk. There's risk involved.
Exactly.
So my 18 was Marvin Jones. My 19. Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry Fitz, the old man, making it.
I just decided to go with Larry there because, again, safe. I just feel like he's safe. I don't know. That's pretty much it. We don't have to talk about Larry Fitzgerald. He's really good. You can't it's hard to project when the downfall is actually going to happen because I predicted it like 4 years ago, and I was wrong. So
yeah, this guy is
not going to predict it anymore. So with a quarterback like Sam Bradford, most likely this year, Sam Bradford's a very accurate thrower. And he's going to just probably just rely on Larry Fitzgerald. I just have that feeling. That's what it's going to be. He's going to go to Larry all the time. So where'd you put him? I know it's not fun ranking Larry Fitzgerald, but
no, I have him at 21.
Okay, and that's
so yeah. I went with, and you'll see why, the 2 guys above him. It's more of the high ceilings. So I was like, okay, they're going to jump him a little bit, but dude, I completely agree with you. As far as Bradford, it's a very good fit for quarterback for Fitz. And I liked, actually, I'm going to totally rip off what you said. It was how many times have you said he's pretty much like a glorified tight end out there, because he's a better route runner than any tight end, but he's so tall, sure hands. You can throw it to him anytime. He's in the middle of the field. He's wherever. So I think he is the security blanket for any QB he plays with. So I do think that he is just incredibly safe. And last year, everyone said he was going to fall off, right? He ended up number 9. He was in the top 10.
Yeah, how do you
top 10?
You can't predict it anymore. You just don't know.
And that QB situation was a mess.
Yep.
So, yeah, I might even be undervaluing Larry Fitzgerald at 21. But it's it just becomes difficult to rank an older wide receiver that high.
So number 19, you're number
19. That's where I put Stephon Diggs.
Okay, that's right, Diggs.
Yeah. So we don't have to say anything about that, but he is a talented player. But
way too low.
It's a tough one.
Way too low. His consensus is 16, but that's way too low. He's number 10. He's a top 10 guy. All right, so your 20 was Cooper, 21 was Fitzgerald. We went over my number 20 of Juju Smith-Schuster, 21. We finally show up with Brandon Cooks. Finally.
Oh, okay.
He's way down here, 21st. Here's where I worry about the situation. I don't think Jared Goff was very accurate with deep balls last year, and that's part of the reason why Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins is amazing, so that's the reason. Jared Goff's the reason he wasn't great.
So amazing he hasn't shown up yet.
So that's honestly though. In reality, Goff he wasn't necessarily great at finding Sammy Watkins on deep balls and that kind of thing. And I think Cooks is gonna be in that kind of role in a way, because you got Cooper Kupp and Woods who are gonna do a lot of the other stuff. And they want Cooks to stretch the field. I'm not sure how good Goff is at that quite yet. I'm not there yet. And consensus agrees with me. Brandon Cooks is 21st.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where my reason is. I just don't know. Goff, I think he's being a little overrated, because I just think he is. He wasn't amazing last year. Every quarterback's going to look pretty good when you have Todd Gurley doing that. And you can throw a little dump off pass, and Todd Gurley then runs it for 80 yards, and you get an 80-yard throwing touchdown. He's going to look great. So I worry about Goff throwing the ball to Cooks. That's why I'm just going to drop Cooks a little bit right now. Until it's just, again, all these guys, there's so much potential in these players that could jump up there no problem. Cooks has been a top 10 guy this is, I guess, my reason to find something against Brandon Cooks.
Yeah. I actually, and this year, I can't hate on that at all, because even, as I said, I could easily see him slipping down. It'll be one of those that is going to be closer to the season. You'll get a better picture of how they're going to use him.
All right, so we've both gone through our top 21 guys, right?
Yep.
So we have those. So now we're in this stretch run here, 22 through 30, where it can go a million different ways. But my number 22 is Michael Crabtree. Went with Crabtree here. I think he's going to be the number one guy there in Baltimore, as exciting as that is, I know. I think he's a sure-handed guy. He gets open. He's not like the fastest guy in the world anymore, but he gets open, and he's going to catch balls that way. I think that's part of the reason why he always caught touchdowns in Oakland. I think he could do that here again for Baltimore. He could be the guy they look for, because for some reason he was catching touchdowns over Amari Cooper all the time. So this just might be who they're looking for. They don't really have that tight end to throw the ball to in the end zone. I think it's going to be Crabtree. So I think he could be a relatively safe option here. And he's in wide receiver 3 territory, which I think is pretty solid for him if you can get him as a third. They have to throw the ball to somebody, you would think, right?
I mean, yeah, maybe. And that's why he does make my top 30, obviously. But
I am a little higher. He's 26 consensus right now.
And I have him at 28.
Okay.
It's just
Is it the Baltimore effect?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's really tough to look at Baltimore's team and be like, yeah, they're going to score a lot of points, because I don't think they will.
That's part of it. And that is kind of where, he's 30 years old. He's going to be 31 this season. When did Crabtree get so old? I feel old just thinking about that, because I clearly remember watching him play college at Texas Tech.
Me too.
Very clearly.
I remember him. He held out, didn't he, on his contract? Yeah. Oh, man.
I clearly remember him playing there. Oh, man, it's that long ago now.
Oh, Michael.
Jeez. All right. So who is number 22 for you?
Number 22. I have the first New England man to show up, and that's Chris Hogan.
Interesting.
Yeah. So this might be the first one that is completely off of Craig's radar, but
it's not in my top 30.
I don't know. See, Chris Hogan, when he was healthy, was doing amazing. You still have Tom Brady there. I just think that he is the young gun there. I think he has the best ability to stretch the field. I think Tom Brady likes him a lot. And really, Gronk is, kind of getting injured quite a bit. You have Edelman, but he does his thing. He doesn't really go outside that box. He's great, going in the middle kind of possession type guy. I think the world is open for Chris Hogan. I think people are desperately underrating him.
And I knew you'd put Chris Hogan up here. I had that good feeling. I have nothing against Chris Hogan. There's just nothing at all against him. I ranked Chris Hogan. I do have him. I ranked him 35th. I did go beyond that, but
man.
Okay.
Where
consensus wise,
yeah, where is he?
Chris Hogan ranks 37th.
Woo! I'm gonna have Chris Hogan on every team, I guess.
So right now he ranks. Let's see. The highest on Fantasy Pros is 23rd.
Oh man!
So and there's a 23rd from Justin Boone at the Score. Jamie Eisenberg from CBS has him 24th. So want to go the other way?
Uh-oh.
Andy Holloway again. We're gonna rank up Andy Holloway again from Footballers. Ranks him 66th.
Are me and Andy Holloway like mortal enemies now?
Jason
what is happening?
Moore, also from Fantasy Footballers, ranks him 56th. So the Fantasy Footballers just hate him.
Why in the world would you hate him, though?
So if you want to start a feud with another podcast, there we go. But 66th and 56th. So, and then he's in the 40s in ranks. He's in the 20s. So he's 23rd or he's 66th. He is one of the most interesting players this year.
Dang.
In rankings wise. No one knows what to think about him. So he ends up 37th consensus based off all that, but as low as 66th. That's just.
Even for that seems really, really low, right?
I was 66, like, yeah.
I was am I just off my rocker right now?
That's crazy. But that's why wide receiver is very interesting this year. If you can get a guy that somebody ranks as 66, but you can get him, you think he's a wide receiver 3, they think he's like a wide receiver 6 or 7. So it's interesting. So. But he's not going to make my list. He was 35th. So 23rd for me, Demaryius Thomas. Finally put Thomas on here. And I don't know.
I have him in the same exact spot.
Right? What do you do with him? It's just he's not been that great lately.
Well,
but he's still reliable, I think. And reliable at this range. He's not putting up that top 10 seasons anymore like we come to expect before. But I think he's with Case Keenum. I think Case Keenum's good enough to get him a good season. I think he's going to be fine. As a wide receiver 3 in that kind of range, I think he's pretty solid. He's ranked, consensus-wise, he is a little higher. He's 19th. So we're a little low, I guess, on him.
And we might be. I mean, last year he was 23rd, and he had, a terrible quarterback. So he could easily move up. It's just another one. We've seen him forever, and he is amazing when he had QB, and, like you said.
It's one of those, though, if you can get him as a third. If you get him as your third, you're very happy with that.
Very amazing.
That's where it is. Like a third receiver, you're really happy with him. All right, 24 for me is Golden Tate.
Golden Tate, all right.
He finally shows up. I don't know. Again, he's
where do you have Marvin Jones again?
I had him 18.
Okay.
So I did Marvin. Consensus-wise, Golden Tate is 23rd. Marvin Jones 24th.
Oh, wow.
So the consensus likes Tate more than Jones, just barely. Tate's just he's very consistent. He's not putting up big yards. He's going to hit about 1,000 yards probably, and maybe 5 touchdowns. That's what he usually does. It's about 90 catches, 1,000 yards, 4 or 5 touchdowns. That's what he's done the last 2 years. So PPR, he gets a boost, but we're talking standard here. And so he's solid. He's, again, if you get him as your third, I think you're very happy. This is a very solid one.
Yeah, I have him at 29. So he does make my list, but he's a little farther down. Yeah,
but this is just, it's not, special, but it's just a solid player. All right, so we're at your 24.
24. I have Jarvis Landry from Cleveland. And I had a rough time because I had him and Josh Gordon in the top 30. I have no idea. I don't know how this is going to shake out. Is Josh Gordon going to return to form? I do know this, though. Jarvis Landry is amazing at finding a way to get the ball. I don't know if he'll score a lot of touchdowns, but I think here in that 24th spot, I think that's relatively safe. And, I think, I don't know. I think this is probably his floor. I don't know how high he could actually go. I think he just has this really narrow window. And I think anywhere in the mid-20s, you'd be happy to have him.
Yeah. I had put him at 26th.
Oh, okay. So we're very, very close.
Kind of right there. I think, it's
trying to
I don't know what to think about him, especially with the Tyrod Taylor too. Like, I don't know what do you expect? What should we expect from this? I don't know what to expect. Yeah, because you don't know what to expect from Josh Gordon either, who I did rank.
I did too.
He's my 25th.
He's my 26th.
So okay. Yeah,
so we pretty much didn't know. We just shoved him in.
They're right there together, and it's just in Gordon. Look at consensus. Gordon is 20th, and Jarvis is 25th.
I totally get that.
I get it too, but the Josh Gordon love is always going to be there. I personally will probably never have him on one of my teams, and it's just. I can't say never. I just feel like there's always that person who loves him more than I do. You know what I mean? There's always that person that loves Josh Gordon.
Yeah.
And will draft him way too high. That's why I just never... Because if I had this option right around here, if I could pick him up, that's when I'd get him. But I don't think that ever happens. He ends up going way too high for this. So, yeah, it's just they're good players. But
so you put Jarvis ahead of him or below?
I put Jarvis 24, Gordon 26.
Okay.
Or no, you put that.
Yeah, I was
I'm reading yours. I put Gordon 25th, Jarvis 26th. I did put Gordon ahead of Jarvis.
Okay.
So you would take. How do I have 2 Cleveland receivers in the top 30?
Well, dude, they have so many weapons now, though. It's a completely different offense.
It kills.
So you would take Gordon over Jarvis, though,
because of at this spot. I mean, that's the thing. If I could draft him here, which never happens,
right.
Really. If I could, I like the potential of Josh Gordon.
Okay.
Here at this range.
I can't argue that. I do think Gordon does have a higher ceiling. I think Jarvis Landry has a higher floor, if you will.
Yeah, it's just in this range. It's just, is he gonna? He has a much Jarvis. I can't see being, way up there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. You know what I mean? If Josh Gordon, if you told me he's gonna catch 10 touchdowns, you'd be like, okay, that could happen. If you told me Jarvis Landry was going to do that, you'd be like, no, not a chance.
Exactly. That's pretty much where I ends up ranking it that way. It's just I can see it happening so much more likely from Gordon, and this is where I take more of a chance when it's like my third receiver, obviously. down there. All right, so you're then 25th.
25th. This is where I put Jordy Nelson.
Okay. He didn't make my top.
Okay. I truly don't know what to make of him at the moment. But I had to give him some sort of forgiveness for last year, and I thought this is about the spot where I'd feel comfortable taking a shot at him. If he's my number 3, you have to think okay, damn, that is I'm willing to take that risk. But there's a lot of other guys here that are much safer. In a weird way. I never thought I would say that about Jordy. But
that's, I guess, where maybe we look at it, your third receiver role, maybe that's where you go more risk, I guess. I think that's maybe where I'm realizing I'm leaning, is Jordy does have that potential, but he's not my top 30. But consensus, he's 35th, actually, even further down. He's drops a little bit. Actually, yeah, he wasn't good last year. It's hard to say why exactly. He's ranked as high as 22nd this year, as low as 72nd. 72nd.
That's probably someone not setting.
No, that's somebody setting. It's Jason Moore from the Fantasy Footballers.
Dude, what is up?
And then Andy Holloway has him 58th. Not joking.
And the weird part is okay, I get that, but you're really ranking him as in he's not going to be healthy.
It's just Jason Moore and Andy Holloway. They're the only two doing it.
That's what's bumming me out.
Keep bringing them
even
up.
if they were in the 40s, I'd be like, I get it. Come on.
The same two guys. All right. I don't know what they're doing this year. We'll find out. All right. So that was your 25th. Your 26th was Josh Gordon. My 25th was Josh Gordon. My 26th was Jarvis Landry. 27th. We're getting down here to the end. 27th for me, Julian Edelman. Jumped him into my ranks.
Okay. You hold it. So you would rather have Edelman than Chris Hogan?
I would. If Edelman's healthy, I think he's going to have a big year. So that's pretty much it. He needs to be healthy to do it.
He is a safe player, but okay. I gotcha.
All right. It's just Edelman. He plays with Tom Brady.
I get it.
It's Patriots. I don't really know what to think.
For my 27th, I went Devin Funchess.
Okay, Funchess.
So I think it would actually help him a little bit having an actual wide receiver lining up on the other side of him. I think DJ Moore will be a pretty good rookie. He proved it last year that Funchess can be a good wide receiver. He finished 21st, and they don't have that many more weapons. So I don't see him falling off entirely, and I think here at 27, that's pretty realistic. And who knows, maybe he'll outperform that even.
Yeah, I can see. I didn't know what to think about him either. I put him 30th. Yeah,
he's a tough one.
I'm just not excited about it. But he's going to be a wide receiver 3 for me, so I threw him at 30. I think that's safety-wise, I think he's probably safer than the guys I have below that. I think that's kind of where he ends up being. So if you get him as your 3rd, it's fine. That's decent spot. And but he does have potential to jump up.
Yes,
there is some potential there, I still think. So I think he's a solid play down here. All right, so we already had your 28th and 29th of Crabtree and Tate.
Yep.
So we'll go my 28th and my 29th. My 28th, I went with Corey Davis. I'm a little higher than he's 33rd, so I'm a little higher. Not crazy. Just I think the breakout's going to be there, so I'm going to take chances on him as like a 3rd receiver. I will take a chance on Corey Davis. That's where I'm ranking him like this. I'm going to take a chance that he's going to break out and be really good. So if I get a spot here, that's where I guess my risk is in wide receiver 3s. I guess that's what I've learned through this whole process. So did he make your top? Was he your 30 or not?
No, there? He didn't make top 30, but he was I pretty much did my top 30 and then wrote 3 names that were right there, and he was in that trio.
So my number 29, Pierre Garçon. I decided to go with Pierre Garçon.
Oh man, I feel bad, but he didn't even register on my list. Like he's not in there.
I can see why he's not exciting. But my thoughts are, if Jimmy Garoppolo is actually good, Pierre Garçon should be his number 1 this year if he's healthy. He should be the number 1. So, Marquise Goodwin was really good last year, but Pierre Garçon still, I think, should be that guy. But he's going to be 32 when the season starts. You worry about that a little bit. I think he is a very safe option. I think we always thought that about Garçon before. He's a safer player. And I think he's going to be that again. So I'm going to slot him around here, but I probably still, that's where I think that's why I put like Corey Davis one spot ahead of him, because I think I want the risk a little more in my wide receiver 3. So, and that's it for my top 30. I already ranked my 30th of Funches, so we just have your 30th left.
Number 30th and 30th. And I can't believe I'm going to bring up his name. And you
I know. I was going to say, did you realize who I didn't rank?
Yeah, and I can't believe this. I gave him the benefit of the doubt because even last year when he didn't catch a whole lot of balls, he found his way into the end zone. A big risk reward guy. I put Sammy Watkins number 30th, and now I want to kick myself in the junk. Because I really thought he was going to be in your mid-20s at least. No. Only because I berated you so much earlier on about him. I thought that you would downgrade him but not forget him.
No, he's 31st.
Oh, okay.
But, so, you don't even, honestly, there's not much to talk about with Sammy Watkins because we don't know what's going to happen there. How he's going to be used. He has a rookie quarterback. There's a first-year starting quarterback. There's a million weapons there. So, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
We have to see. This is one of those situations we really have to see it. Have to see what this offense looks like. Look how Mahomes looks early on to know what to do with Sammy Watkins. There is a lot of potential. I still think there is a lot of potential with Sammy Watkins. I'm just worried. I just don't know what to think about the new offense. And Sammy Watkins actually is 29th consensus. So I'm actually below Sammy Watkins.
Oh, my gosh.
I am low on Sammy Watkins this year. What happened?
I tell you, a lot like Tyreek Hill, though, these players that they have in KC, none of them need a lot of touches. Yeah. Sammy Watkins did not catch a lot of balls last year, and he had 8 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill, Kelsey. I mean, Mahomes can run the ball even. Like, it's going to be a very interesting offense that can go either way. But right now I'm hedging my bets, and I'm going Sammy Watkins, number 30.
All right. I think that's going to do it. So next episode, we're going to go top, 15 tight ends? Not going to go too crazy because, man, do you really need more than 15? Unless you're in a 20-team league. Yeah, sure, then you need it. But not very excited about the position. So we'll talk about that on the next episode. We'll talk to you guys later.